So yes, my husband had an affair. I never wanted to come to social media with this. I have honestly just been giving it to God and going to therapy. But let's go ahead and address this comment. At the start of the year, my husband came to me and told me that a woman reached out to him on Twitter asking for help with her business. I don't know what it was about the woman. My husband has worked with many other women before this. It was just something about this woman that I was like, babe, I don't know about this. Something just doesn't feel right. And lo and behold, my intuition was correct. Said business relationship ended up transpiring into something more. When I found out that it was transpiring into something more, I fought my husband on this. I tried to get my husband to understand that what was going on was not right and that he was opening a door for him to fall into a sin that was so much bigger than what he was already committing. And because he was not hearing me, I left my home in the middle of the night, pregnant with nothing. And it all spiraled out of control. And maybe this is where my downfall comes into play, because maybe had I not left from the house, maybe had I fought my husband a little bit harder than I had already been fighting, this relationship would not have advanced in the way it did. My husband sought comfort in this woman. She was giving him something that I was not giving him in those moments. I was definitely being quarrelsome because I just was trying to pound into his head, like, you're gonna fall, you're being tempted and you're going to fall. When I left, he fell. Now, I cannot speak on that. That is not my testimony to speak on. And I'm just gonna leave that there. In that, I decided to stand for my marriage still, and I decided to go with reconciliation rather than divorce. I never defended my husband when it came to him having said affair. I fought my husband. Like I said, I left my house 20 weeks pregnant in the middle of the night with nothing but the clothes on my back because I was so against what was going on. I don't use godly character to hide any darkness. I speak on all the time how my marriage is not perfect. I am not a perfect person. I do use godly character in the sense of extending forgiveness to my husband, extending grace to my husband, as well as the woman who was involved with the affair. I did speak to her. I spoke to her on the situation. I told her how I wanted nothing more in life but to be a wife and a mom, and how I felt like that was being attacked. I spoke life into her. I told her that she was a beautiful woman, and I didn't understand how, we were falling into what we were falling into. My husband does not abuse me. You may have seen me and my husband arguing. My husband and I were arguing as a result of the affair that was going on between you and him. But to say that my husband abuses me is a little bit extensive. And lastly, to say that I have no identity outside of my husband, I just gained one of the biggest identities that I could have possibly ever imagined. I'm trying to navigate this journey of motherhood while also being a wife. And it's one of the things that I prayed for so hard. And I just feel like it's been taken away from me. Just because of this whole scandal, I feel like I've honestly just been living in a vortex. This literally began at the start of the year, and it's currently almost the end of the year. And here I am being harassed by this woman because my husband told her that he had to cut off the affair. As soon as the affair was cut off, it just spiraled into us being these horrible people and saying that we're trying to grow. Yes, we are trying to go. Yes, we are trying to grow. We are trying to become stronger in our marriage, and I'm trying to, it's just so much. Just so many allegations that are being made and so many lies that are being spewed from the numerous accounts that have been harassing me that this woman has been making. And I'm just tired. I'm so tired of my character being attacked because I decided to reconcile my marriage. I'm so tired of my character being attacked because I decided to be forgiving and I decided to extend grace. And honestly, I am just ready to lay this all to bed. Husband had an affair. It was decided on to go the route of reconciliation. However, with that being the route that we chose, I don't think that it's fair that I'm being harassed. The numerous calls, the numerous emails, the fake accounts that are demoralizing my character, I just don't think it's fair, and that's just that. So yes, my husband had an affair.
All right. Man, that's a lot. The first thing I want to say is you don't have to share your business online. Like, I don't know how more emphatic I could be about that. You don't owe anyone online an explanation about your life and marriage. I hope this young lady and her husband, will realize, I'm sure they'll look back on this, hopefully they're able to work through it, they decide a reconciliation and say, the one thing we need to do for him, for one, he needs to make sure he be faithful, right? I guess I need to make that clear. Like, yeah, he's wrong. It's not right to step out on your wife. I think even more important, when you're dealing with family matters, it's private. It's not the world's business. Coming online to even defend yourself, it's one of those things where I just think it's, if you don't believe that you're being led by God and getting counsel from a group of people that are trusted, maybe like a married couple, a family therapist, or a couple from the church, anything like that. If they're not advising that you all speak online about the matter to clear things up, that I just think you should keep things like that private. And of course, this is, a marriage and family issue, but I just feel that way about a lot of things. And because it's online, I'm speaking to it. But this is none of our business. Like, your husband stepping out on you is wrong. And what y'all are wrestling with in y'all marriage is not anybody else's business, other than maybe, like I said, a trusted counselor, therapist, a married couple that y'all are seeing that's helping y'all walk through that and navigate that. But dealing with the woman that he had an affair with, you can choose to do that. I know sometimes people want answers. They want to know what happened. But I never thought that was safe. And I'm not going to say never. It usually doesn't end well. Now she's being harassed. If her story is true, she says she spoke life into this woman. She said she wanted nothing more than to be a wife and a mother, and she felt like it's being attacked. She said she told the woman she was beautiful. And now she's been harassed because she told her husband that this has to stop. Rightfully so. If y'all are going to reconcile, then obviously. But it's just not any of our business. It shouldn't be. And I mean, of course, they made this decision to get online and talk about it. But me personally, people in the comment section and people who are scrolling through social media, they don't really care. A lot of times these people are just getting the dopamine or just being entertained off what you share. And your character, your family, your home ends up taking the hit. Because this stuff, the digital footprint, it doesn't go away. And I hate that, for one, that her husband did this, because whenever a spouse steps out on their marriage, you open up so much. And I've never been married. Let me say this. I've never been married. I don't have any children. So I'm just speaking from the surface. I'm not in it. So I'm not trying to act like I'm an expert on marriage. What I'm saying is I do know consequences, just general consequences. If someone steps out on their marriage, they open up their family to the outcomes of that wrongdoing. And then furthermore, to me, getting online and talking about it is, to me, doubling up on the damage, because now people from the outside are getting an inside look into your home that they should not have. And it's just not wise. I hope, they're able to work through this. I do believe there's grace for them for their marriage. Hopefully he's remorseful. There's nothing new under the sun. We've seen infidelity in marriages in the Bible, and we've seen, consequences happen, but God's grace still be with people as they journey to be reconciled and to do what's right. But it doesn't mean that, there won't be consequences. So hopefully they're able to work through it. And if I can give you any kind of wisdom, not specifically them, but just in general, like, you don't have to share your business online. It's nobody's business. It's really not. Like, it's like the whole idea of privacy is just, that veil is just gone. People are just sharing everything. Stories about STDs, one-night stands. I mean, a lot of negative stuff. But even some good things don't need to be shared, like how much money you make. It's just a lot of unnecessary things being shared online. And I just think it's important for us to be reminded, like, everything doesn't belong in the public eye. It doesn't belong on the World Wide Web. It doesn't belong on social platforms. You don't need to get on the podcast and tell all your dark secrets. You don't need to talk about your spouse and your family. There's certain things that should be reserved. That's just what I believe. And of course, we get an opportunity to speak to it, but I just want to honor their union and not speak too much on that, other than I hope it works. I'm sorry that happened. And, it's just sad. But, yeah, don't be telling y'all business online. It's not productive. It's one of those things that I think it's just damaging. So anyways, I'll catch y'all in the next video. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. See you.
Find that rock, stand on it, be strong.